my name is Mme Leduc. I'm a rec leadership student at Will and the representative for Will for the Jumpstart program.
This is our video on how the program went and
overall how it was. So the first question was, meetings we had, just the three of us. About that, the meetings that we had were very progressive. We didn't talk about a lot of important things. We did a lot of research on like this, finding the proper gear and stuff to have inclusivity for some people that are a different religion. Some might want to cover more than others. We just try to include as much people as we asked around. Some people might want shorts covering under the knees. Some ladies, they might want to cover up more than others. And some can't even afford swimsuits maybe. We try to cover that, towels, etc. And we try to know where to put our money was. So we would just pick out the things that like price-wise that were the best for our budget. So the second question is, how was the meeting with the representatives from Friel? So I thought it went very well. The questions that we asked were very important, like are the swimming instructors prepared to deal with people that might have anger or temper issues or that are like differently abled? We just try to see if they're prepared for certain situations, how would it work, time-wise, when's their availability. He has very important questions. Other than that, I thought it was like very positive, back and forth communicating from each other. Everything just worked out very well. I just really enjoyed how like we worked with each other. It was a very like positive experience with them. And hopefully throughout the next years going on for Will, that it will be the same, just working with Friel for the Jumpstart program. Hi, so the third question is communication with Sward or Gloucester High School. Overall, I think it was very well. We asked all the important questions that we needed at one time. We didn't go back and forth trying to understand. She put a lot of depth in her answers, so we didn't have to ask anything else. She answered everything very properly. And we just really appreciate it. The reason why we asked her is because, like, you know, she has experience with Jumpstart. You know, she's gotten loans from them. She's worked with like this kind of situation before. Yeah, just overall, like, I think there's like very good communication between us, and just really appreciate what she did for us.
Hello. My name is Balkis Shwiki. I am a Will recreational leadership student and representative for the Swim to Survive program.
there were a few criteria that we had to consider for the Jumpstart participants. Initially, we had offered this program to everyone. The priority group that we had hoped to have the most impact with are students who may face financial, cultural, or ability barriers. There were many students that were interested, and those who knew where to reach out and sign up for that program. To promote our program, Malik and I made 2 different posters, which I will attach over here. On these posters, we put all the important details, such as the first and last day, the times of the lessons, the days of the week. We added a QR code so that the students can sign up online. We also mentioned Jumpstart to thank them and show our appreciation. Malik and I also went on the morning announcements and delivered a speech explaining all the important details and the concepts of this program, where to reach out if they had any questions. Be sure to mention where to go pick up the waivers to sign. We also made sure to emphasize the deadline to returning the waivers. Our hopes for the number of participants versus the actual number of participants that we've got. Mme Leduc, Malik, and I had initially planned for 40 students to sign up, 20 of each gender. However, we were only able to get 17 female students and 2 male. Therefore, instead of making 2 different classes, we decided to combine both classes and turn the lessons co-ed. Before doing so, we obviously asked the students that signed up, and all of them were okay with it and still committed to the lessons. Details on the Google form that I'd like to talk about.
In the beginning of the Google form, we made sure to mention important information about the program. We mentioned that duration is 6 weeks. We made sure to mention that it was free, and we gave credit to Gloucester High School. There's a lot more information that we're going to go through. We made sure to add some links for students to access for additional information. Here we asked for their first and last name, and then we asked them to provide their grade. Here we asked them essential questions such as, what is your first language at home? And we made them rate their English from a scale through 0 to 10, in case there was a language barrier between the instructor and student. We also made sure to ask them if they've ever had a chance to swim. We asked, are you able to swim? Have you ever had any swimming lessons? Do you own a swimsuit? On the Google Forms, we provided different options of answers for everyone. We wanted to know their different levels so that the instructors prepare for the lessons. If they didn't have a swimsuit, we made sure to provide 2 different models, a bikini and a one-piece swimsuit, as you can see in the photo. We also asked them to provide their sizes so we can get an approximation of what we should order. We also offered some towels in case they didn't have one, and we made sure they had a way to get home. If they weren't getting picked up or walking home, then we would provide them with some bus tickets. Finally, we made sure to emphasize the pull waiver pickup from the library.
The logistics of getting students into the Friel swimming pool. Bringing the students into the Friel swimming pool was pretty easy and practical. What we did, as soon as the last bell rang, all the students and either Malik or I would go into the Sir Will and Friel staircase intersection, like near the rotunda. We would wait for someone from the office to come open the door for us. Afterwards, we would go through and all the students would go into the changing rooms. I would put my bags in the changing rooms, and then we'd go out and wait by the couches until someone would come open the door at 2:50.
The last question is attending the start of their lesson on Monday and Wednesday. What I love about what Friel did was the way that they got the students to warm up to them. You know, they were kept on like talking to them, asking them questions, how was your weekend, etc. Trying to build a relationship. You'd also do that in and out of the pool. So to get people inside, like, oh, they'd ask, okay, what's your favorite ice cream flavors? Some said, okay, I like vanilla, also jump in. Some said I like chocolate, pistachio, etc. They just try to have like inclusivity at the beginning and like make people feel like more comfortable with the water through fun games, and just like try to build a connection with the students, which I like a lot.
Attending the lessons on Mondays and Wednesdays. Whenever I attended the lessons on either Mondays or Wednesdays, I stayed for the whole class. I watched the students learn, progress, and overcome their fears throughout the whole process. I've watched students progress, learn, and overcome their fears. It was really rewarding. On my first day, I was able to get in the water and I was able to give advice to students that didn't understand drills. It was really exciting and fun. Everyone was enjoying the classes and learning new skills.
So this question is asked, what do you think Jumpstart offers Canadian youth vis-a-vis access to sport? So Jumpstart is known as just a place where you can apply for like, you know, donations or loans, I guess. Overall, I don't think that's all. I think it's just like an organization that like offers opportunities to people with just like access to sports. So I think it's like very important and vital to like development of like, you know, the youth. I think sports should be a part of all kids' life. With Jumpstart, it just gives access to, you know, the sports. Without sports, I think it can maybe cause effect to like, you know, some people. Like it's just like a passion, you know, like sports. This Jumpstart offers that the like, you know, the youth, which I really appreciate.
What I think Jumpstart offers Canadian youth vis-a-vis access to sports. Jumpstart is a non-profit organization that breaks barriers such as cultural, financial, or even accessibility. Far too many youth miss out on sports participation because of barriers. It isn't just about funding, it is about enabling a better chance to be equal. Jumpstart is an entirely voluntary program focused on establishing that every kid has the right to participate in sport, learn from sport, grow from a sport, no matter what background or family situation. In our case, it helps students receive bathing suits, bus tickets, and even towels. Small things but things that matter. In the end, Jumpstart is all about inclusion and empowerment through sports youth across Canada. I have learned many things through this entire process. I have learned that creating something special requires a lot of hard work behind the scenes. We had many meetings with Mme Leduc, and we met up with Allison and Veronique, creating posters and speeches and a Google form to sign up. We had a lot of planning and organizing to do, especially when it came to figuring out what swimsuits to buy, prices, and calculating our budget to submit on our Jumpstart application. Every day we were there, we had to consider many things. We had to make sure the students were ready to get in the water, if they felt comfortable, and if they had everything they needed, like a swim cap or goggles. Most importantly, I learned that teamwork and communication are really important. Malik, Mme Leduc, and I have worked really well communicating and working together. Whenever I wasn't able to attend the swimming lessons, Malik did, and whenever he wasn't able to, I did. We made sure to update Mme Leduc on what's going on, and she gave us updates whenever there were any.